Let's prepare ourselves now for the final assembly of our journal. You should have your holes punched into your leather. This is your leather jacket, and there's the flap that comes over. You should have 5 signatures already hole punched with 1 inch from the bottom. Earlier, you threaded a needle with your braided wax thread. And the final wrap, which will go around the journal to secure it. Okay. So I'm going to take my needle and thread and begin in this second hole from the inside of my leather jacket and bring that thread up and through that hole. I will then go into the hole where the first signature will be attached. Then I'm feeding it through my first signature, pulling it all the way through. Feed it through the second hole and find that proper hole for the first signature. Pull it through, ensuring that I'm not actually pulling the thread completely out of the journal. At this point, we need to kind of hold on to that. And I'm going back down into this particular hole right here. Now notice I'm not going into the first signature that I put on. I'm going to pull that so it's nice and snug. Then I'm getting ready for my second signature. I'm threading this through. This time I'm coming through on the outside, in through the second hole for the second signature, placing that signature on. And through the second hole on the bottom for that second signature. Make sure it's nice and tight. Third signature, up through the hole. Place your third signature on, feed the needle through. And third signature. Sometimes it might get caught up, not a big deal. Just figure where it got caught up. Pull your thread through. And want to try and keep that thread aligned. Okay. Going through the third hole now on the bottom. But not going through the actual signature. Again, always tightening it, making sure it's secure. Now I'm doing my fourth signature. Feed it through. Find the fourth hole on the leather. Pull up all the way through. Through the fourth hole. And now I'm going to go after my fifth signature. make sure that's nice and tight and secure. And at this point, I want to finish off this particular end with my stitching. I'm coming back up through this hole. Going back into the fourth. Now you'll kind of have to fold the cover back to get that needle up and out. And I want to finish this stitching across before I add my fifth signature on the journal. Feeding the signature through. Through the other side and through that fifth hole on the opposite side. There we go. Now we're going to finish off this stitching before we make our way back to this final hole right here. So I'm alternating every other, bringing the needle through. Notice I'm going in between the signatures. I'm not going through the signature. Once you're to the end, go back through. Now the last and final stitch, we will end on the inside of the journal, and then we're going to tie off that journal with that extra end that we had at the very beginning. So I'll poke this through the last hole, find that loose end, and we're going to tie a solid knot here to secure our signatures in place with our journal attached. You can snip these off if you'd like, but one thing I'm going to add in a later class is adding little beads and end pieces onto these strings. For the sake of this class, I'm just going to snip them. Using the shears, we'll snip the wax braided thread to finish off that end, and then wrap up the journal to finish the project off. You can use a leather strap that you cut from the remaining hide or piece of suede that you have, or some stores will sell remnants of leather that you can use for your straps. In addition, we could finish off the journal with other embellishments like snaps and buckles.